Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Reiki Reflect. My name's Angie, and this is part 2 of our Twin Flame Soulmate segment. So the previous one, if you haven't heard, go check that out. It talks about what happens when union takes place, how you know union is close, and signs of knowing when you met a twin flame or a soulmate connection. Now, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite, which is the twin flame stages. And there's 7 twin flame stages, and we all go through them, and some of them are good and some of them are just god-awful. So, the first stage is what we call the search. The search stage involves a strong sense of yearning, of an awareness that something is lacking in your life, basically. Even if you've never really thought about soulmates or twin flames before, this is the stage at which you begin to believe that there really is a perfect match out there for you. In all likelihood, basically, you'll doubt this feeling at first. You may feel even unsure about what it is or what you should do with that feeling, but at the deepest level, you will find it impossible to shake, which is often where we feel crazy as far as meeting the one. Like, we meet that person and we just don't understand why we can't get that person out of our head, no matter how terrible the connection is. And it may seem like this person's trying to run for their life from you. And then you feel this desire and obsession, and you just don't know what to do with yourself. So that's definitely a lot of where that comes from, where we start to feel crazy. Because basically what you're feeling is the search. You met the one that your soul has been looking for. The search stage is also partly about preparing your life for the incoming arrival of your twin flame. Even though you may not know why you're doing this, like, for example, you may start a journal, engage in therapy, or work to find closure after past relationships. On an unconscious level, you know that all of these things are necessary if you are to welcome your twin flame. Now, as far as stage 2, this is the fun part. This is the awakening. This is where it begins, and our third eye is up from its long nap. You tend to just know when you're encountered with your twin flame. The awakening stage is where you physically meet, and the awareness of your compatibility hits you on the head, and you feel like you yourself are noticing everything you have in common, and you just feel so right and so perfect with that person. But that person doesn't see it yet, is often what happens. This will often be a chance to encounter that it is full of coincidences and little signs that your meeting was destined to take place. Sometimes you won't be together for very long, which is very normal, but even brief contact is enough to make you aware that something special is happening. It's also worth noting that the awakening can take place in a dream. It's also worth noting, that it can take place in dream, meaning you meet your twin flame in a dreamscape before you ever cross paths in real life. Regarding how you meet, you will be shaken by intensity of a bond you feel. You may feel intoxicated by it and find that all your waking moments are occupied by thoughts of this person, which, if you heard the last podcast about twin flames, I talked about my dreams I used to have. So that's where It happens. Stage 3 is the test. The test stage for a twin flame experience is defined by trying to understand your relationship with the other person. It is all about establishing boundaries, testing your limitations, and moving past a purely blissful experience of falling in love. This stage will only occur once you've had enough time to enjoy a honeymoon phase. Plus, this stage is crucial if you're going to have a more meaningful long-term relationship. For example, if at this point you will negotiate what your future will look like, and you will begin to notice what may contribute obstacles to your future. So that is the start of your twin flame, where things start to just feel really heavy, and it's like this relationship felt so blissful and so perfect, but then all of a sudden it's falling apart, and you know you love this person. You know that you feel content and you feel whole with this person, but you can't understand or grasp, why is this person slipping through your fingers? It's higher than you at this point. That is why. Although you are destined to know and love each other, you are still engaged in conflict. In the same way before you met your twin flame, you engaged in conflict with other parts of yourself. Whether you resolve these conflicts will define whether you're able to stay together. So this is where we have to focus on ourselves and letting go our ego, and knowing that this connection is bigger and greater than ourselves. So that's the part where you're fighting a battle with your mirror self. Because keep in mind, everything that has to do with twin flames is all about personal growth. Now, the fourth stage is called the crisis. While twin flames can be a beautiful, exceptional, something you've never felt ever in a lifetime, it also involves a crisis stage, basically. All twin flames go through this no matter what. It happens. And there's no way out of it, because this is all part of the waking up process. Well, this is often unpleasant, and the good news is that it can also become something more deeper, more stable to bond in the long term. So this is where I'm saying that this wakes us up so that we can connect to our higher selves and connect with our twin to build a long-lasting relationship full of abundance. I mean, this stage involves significant anxiety and worries about your bond with your twin flame. And the crisis can just be about anything. It may be related to grief, betrayal, struggles with self-love, or any number of other things that put pressure on your connection with your twin flame. Oftentimes, I myself and people I spoke to about this will feel like they're just not good enough. Like they don't understand why this specific connection is so hard on them. It's making them not feel comfortable in their own skin. Almost like we're embarrassed to be ourselves. It's not a good feeling, but it's all for a greater good. To break you out of your shell and into your higher self. In spite of like the supernatural compatibility of twin flames, this is often a point in which the two people decide to separate. So this is where it gets pretty sad. A process that is extra painful, given that it involves giving up a part of yourself. So now you understand why anything involving your twin flame is so painful. And it's almost traumatizing. And it feels like the most excruciating thing you've ever been through. Because, like I just said, it involves giving up a part of yourself. So that can be really hard. However, if you can get through the next few stages, you will emerge stronger than ever before. Now, this is the stage that often breaks us, a lot of us. And this can lengthen the time of our union by years. So this is a stage that we really need to focus on. And I could do that. I do specialize in twin flame connections. So I'll have my website in the description if you want to get in touch with me and we can kind of discuss more about your situation. But I know this is the hardest part for most twin flames, and this was hard for me as well. And I had to come to realize that I need to stop chasing. So, number 5, the running and chasing stage. No matter what form the crisis stage takes, it is always followed by a runner and chasing stage. You may be in either role. You or your twin may switch back and forth between the two roles. This stage revolves around one twin distancing themselves, often out of fear of confronting the level of intimacy the two of you are capable of experiencing. The twin in this role will be in pain and will feel very defensive and resistant. This is your twin, or even yourself, trying to hold on to their ego. Meanwhile, the other twin will give chase, believing that the bond is worth fighting for and working on. This stage can only end up when the runner stops running and the chaser twin stops chasing. Often at the end of this stage, it categorizes both twin flames, realizing that there are forces at work beyond their control. So oftentimes I tell a lot of people I spoke with, clients, doesn't matter which side you are, because like I just said, the roles can switch up. You can chase your twin flame for months, even years. And then it can just switch and your twin flame chases you, but you get that urge and feeling to run away because you're not trusting this and you're trying to protect your heart from getting hurt, which is understandable. So it kind of flip-flops. But the way to get out of that, because that is also what represents an infinite loop, someone has to wave that flag. Someone needs to stop. The runner will continue to run, but the runner always looks back. And when the runner sees that their chaser is not chasing them, they're going to turn back and look for you. And the same thing. You will continue to chase your runner. But once you get caught up to your runner, that's when the two of you both realize that force is beyond control. Once one twin stops, the other one will too. So don't worry about, well, my twin needs to stop running or chasing me, and then once my twin stops, I'll stop. No. Because that's where an infinite loop happens. You are one person. If you wait for your twin to stop, your twin is going to continue to wait for you. And that loop is just going to be infinite. And this circle is just going to keep going on. So let go of that ego. Stop running and stop chasing. Focus on your inner self, and you will see how both your eyes and your twin eyes realize this is something out of your hands. Now, the 6th stage is called the surrender, which is just what I was talking about. In the surrender stage, both of you will start to give up on a previous need to control your relationship. In this context, surrendering isn't about giving up your connection, but rather about accepting that neither of you can escape destiny. This can be a positive realization that releases you both from past anxieties and allows you to better live in this moment. Trusting that the universe will lead you to where you need to go. I want you to know that it's only possible to progress through the surrender stage only if both of you worked on the issues that led to the crisis and the running and chaser stage. For many people, the core issues here relates to the fact that twin flames are mirrors. So often that nothing you will work through will help unless you rid those negative energies, is what I'm trying to say. So the things you will need to work on are the negative feelings you feel about yourself, which are reflected back to you in the eyes of your twin. So you remember earlier what I said? Going through those stages, you start to question yourself if you're good enough. You feel uncomfortable in your own skin. That's where change needs to take place. Because we all are here for a greater good. And a spiritual awakening needs to happen in order for you to reach your higher self. So, don't be afraid to let go of your ego that is accumulated from the crisis and the runner stage. We often start to feel resentment, be really upset with our twin, do not want to trust our twin, and want to tell our twin that it's enough. If you do that, by all means, that's up to you. But if you want union to happen, you have to surrender completely. You give up full control and allow the universe to guide you and your twin into union. This 7th stage is the union and joining, the stage that we all been waiting for. When you and your twin flame move on to union stage, you'll have a sense of relief that the fact that balance is being restored. No matter what you and your twin may have went through, I'm saying this from experience, there can be massive arguments where many hateful things would have been said. Somehow, when the union and rejoining stage takes place, you will have that sense of relief and feel that balance. You will physically and emotionally feel that balance. And somehow you and your twin will both understand that you have to go through all of that in order to get to where you are right now. Because sometimes, if not often, not all the time, I should say, sometimes, if not all times, things happen in our life that devastate us and that will break us down to our deepest core where there is nothing left of us, to where we feel like we've given up all hope through all aspects of life. Things that happen that bring us to that point happen so that we can fully break down in order to rebuild ourselves back up again into something stronger. So that's what happens with twins. There is no twins that meet each other and just live happily and ever after. There's no such thing of that when it comes to twin flames. You have to go through all the hardship in order for you to break down and the two of you both fully rebuild yourself up as new people so that you can succeed with the abundance of happiness. In going through the previous challenging stages, you'll have learned a lot about yourself and about the potential to be a unique kind of love you have found. For some twin flames, a union will be physical in nature. For example, the two of you may finally come back to the same place, agreeing to share a home, or finally physically consuming your bond. It carries with a sense of peace, acceptance, and understanding. Once you and your twin feels that about each other, you know the union is taking place. If you can weather a more, how can I explain it? If you can become more expressive about your journey with your twin flame, energy leads both parties to the joining stage. After the reunion, the hard part is over. All you need to do now is live enjoying the sense of completeness that can only be found in each other's companionship. So basically what I'm saying is that once you and your twin realize that both parts of your journey, both parties, you and your twin flame journey, is leading up to this twin flame energy, the two of you have finally reached a union, and all that hard work has paid off, and you now can live in completeness. This doesn't mean that, don't get me wrong, this does not mean that it's going to be happily ever after. There's no such thing as a happily ever after, just because life in itself brings complications. But you will notice when you are in completeness with your twin flame, all the other things that happen in life just don't seem as hard as it did with anyone else. So that was the 7 signs, the 7 stages of union with your twin flame. Now, we're going to talk more about a spiritual awakening, because these are all the signs and stages and things to resonate with, to know that you're on the right path with your twin flame. But how do you get to that path? How do you get to that point of union? Because yes, those stages told us what we can expect, but they didn't tell us actually how to get through it. I can help you with that because I do specialize with twin flame connections. And there's only one way to get in completion with your twin flame, and that is to experience oneness. And in order to reach oneness, you have to start and complete your spiritual awakening. There is a lot of different ways for a spiritual awakening. Some people just don't know how to start. There are some people who are in limbo with their spiritual awakening, like they're stuck in an in-between. And there's some people who are just flat out confused. So I'm here with any answers that you may have. I would really advise you to head over to my website, read a little bit more about me. On the website, there will be multiple ways for you to contact me, and we can have a private session talking about your situation and what is going to be the best route for you to take. So the next segment for the podcast is going to be the third part of Twin Flame Union. And we're going to talk about the hard parts of a twin flame. The dark night of a twin flame connection that has to do a lot with a spiritual awakening. And we're going to dive a little bit into a spiritual awakening as well, so that you can understand how to kickstart a spiritual awakening and understand what it means to be spiritually awoken. Because sometimes we can be spiritually awoken and have no clue. So I'm here to eliminate all of the confusion that life in itself brings us when it comes to our spirituality. Because trust me when I say this, I've been through it, and I know just how hard it can be. So head over to my website, take a look around, and get in touch with me with any questions you have, because I am here for you, and I want you ultimately to know through your spiritual awakening, your spiritual journey, and your twin flame connection, you are not alone. Well, thank you again for listening to Reiki Reflect. This is our fourth episode. So yeah, I'll talk to you soon. And the next episode, we'll be talking about the night the night of the awakening when it comes to your spiritual awakening with your twin flame, I guess I should say. I know, I'm just rambling now. I'm sorry. But yes, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too boring. I do hope it was informational. And I hope you learn some things about yourself. See you in the next episode. Bye.